Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome to today's episode of Harry Being Flocked. I'm your host, Louis Rossman. Today I'm going to be following up on a wiki article that came out earlier in the year talking about Amazon changing the terms of their purchase books. So on February 26, 2025, Amazon removed the download and transfer via USB feature from their website. This means that Amazon Kindle users are no longer able to download their purchased ebooks from Amazon's website to their computers using the download and transfer via USB feature. A message describing this change appeared on the page for the download feature a few weeks before the feature was removed. And we have a screenshot of it at the Consumer Rights Wiki. It says, starting from February 26, 2025, the download and transfer via USB option will no longer be available. You can still send Kindle books to your Wi-Fi-enabled devices by selecting the Deliver or Remove from Device option. And the reason that this is worse is because you know how it is. If you need to connect to the cloud in order for the thing you bought to work, the thing you bought can be taken away. And there are many examples of books having been edited after the sale. We have an article on the wiki of all of the edits that have been made to books that were already sold. Not new books. Not we've released a new edition because we don't like the old edition. Edits that were made to books that were in your library. So if you logged in today, you're reading something different than the book that you purchased 1 year ago. And this is something that's highly concerning. And it seems to be affecting people who are purchasing items that don't think that they're covered under this type of DRM because of how the product listings work. This comes from a subreddit with my name on it. I'm not a moderator here. It's just something that somebody created for me. It says, Kindle books described as DRM-free sold with DRM, customer service ignoring the issue. For those of you who don't know what DRM is digital rights management, aka I get to manage the rights that you have on the product that you bought and paid for from me. So imagine if I sold you a repair, but because you didn't pay enough money or because my cost went up, I could manage the rights of your repair and say that your device is only going to work for 3 hours a day, or else it's going to go back to the way it was working after you liquid damaged it, even though you already paid me. This is something that I think is disgusting and very anti-ownership. So it says, cannot convert the Shadow Quintet, Ender Shadow, Shadow of the Hegemon, Shadow Puppet, Shadow of... That's a lot of freaking shadows. This book is locked by DRM. To learn more about DRM and why you cannot read or convert this title, please click here. That's what happens in a show. Now, when you look at the product ad, it says, at the publisher's request, this title is being sold without digital rights management applied. And that is what it looked like 9 days ago when I initially opened up this post. It said that there was no DRM, and it says over here, the author and the publisher provided this ebook to you without digital rights management software applied, so you can enjoy reading it on your personal devices. This ebook is for your personal use only. You may not print or post this ebook or make this ebook publicly available. You may not copy or reproduce or upload this ebook other than to read it on your personal devices. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with the developer or an author saying, I wrote this book. If you want to sell your copy, that's one thing, but don't make 10,000 copies of it and sell it pretending you're me. I appreciate and respect the author's right to make money off of their work. I do not respect their right to tell me what I do and how I'm going to consume what it is that I purchase from them. I don't blame the author in this instance. I blame Amazon. They've changed their terms many times, and when they change their terms, it's usually not pro-customer, and usually all you get is a tiny little notice like what I showed you earlier. So it says they're providing a DRM-protected KFX file that cannot be converted to an EPUB or anything else to enjoy on my devices. EPUB is kind of like a standard format that you can use on virtually anything. You can use on any software, any ebook reader. You're free to do with as you please. It doesn't have a bunch of DRM on it. And one of the things I appreciate reading the comments of this thread is that people are not blaming the author of the book or the publishing company. They're blaming Amazon, which I think is great. They're putting the blame where it belongs. Because it would suck if the changes in Amazon's platform, simply because they want to have more control over what you bought and paid for, is going to be blamed on small publishers and the small authors that likely did not think of having to update every single listing because Amazon changed a policy that they may have not even been made aware of. I understand that there's going to be some people in the audience that defend Amazon. You're going to hear stuff like, well, Louis, if you go to eBay and I write on eBay, you do not have to check out using eBay or PayPal after you buy this. Obviously, you can't hold eBay accountable for the fact that you put that in your listing, right? But that's a more serious example. Here he's saying, I respect my customers enough to not put DRM in the product. And after that, Amazon put DRM in the product anyway. And even if in this particular case doesn't bother you, what I think should really bother you is the fact that they did this to begin with, and they took away your ability to actually have a downloaded option of what you bought and paid for that you own. Taking away your ability to have a file that you have access to that does not require cloud access to a server means that you don't actually own the book. And as I said, means that it can literally be edited until the end of time. This is not the only instance of Amazon selling products with false marketing and false advertising claims. There's a video I did almost 2 years ago going over how Amazon advertises these fuses as 2 amps. I took the 2 amp fuses out of here and out of many other Amazon packages. I put 8 amps through them for several minutes and nothing happened. Amazon, and honestly, I don't expect them to actually change the listing. The same way that my 1-star review for this product still does not show up 18 months later. The same way that after tens of thousands of people in my audience reported this dangerous product to Amazon, it is still on sale a year and a half later. If they're willing to sell a 10 amp fuse as a 2 amp fuse, why would they care about lying to you about DRM in an ebook? And one of the best ways I think you can deal with this is just try to avoid buying stuff on Amazon whenever possible. It's a very difficult thing to do because it's very easy to get hooked on fast shipping. I went to a store today because I needed a tripod. I couldn't find any of the heads that I wanted because they don't have them because people buy it on Amazon. I wanted to buy one of those wind screens that's very furry that we don't call a dead you-know-what in this household for my microphone, and they literally did not have any for sale at a professional camera store. I went to Precision Camera in South Austin. They don't have this because everybody buys it off Amazon. I wanted to buy a windscreen for a lavalier microphone. They don't have it because everybody buys it. Like 99% of the things that I actually need, I cannot buy locally because nobody sells it because they just assume everybody's going to go to Amazon. But there are a lot of small stores out there where you can buy these products. There are a lot of places where you can buy ebooks where you're not on Amazon. Does that mean that you're probably going to have to register at another website or log out as a guest? Yes. Does it mean that you have to save your payment information in a password manager rather than just having it saved inside the platform for you? Yeah. Is it an extra click? It probably is. But the alternative to that is living in a world where you can sell a 10 amp fuse as a 2 amp fuse and just get away with it, or just revoke people's access to what they bought and paid for and edit books and edit history, and nobody cares. And I think that the latter is much more dystopian than taking just a little bit more time and effort to buy from somewhere else. I am most certainly guilty of this. I have used Amazon, but I am an impulsive person. There are times where I need something within 1 or 2 days and I don't feel like waiting 1 or 2 weeks. And I suck. Like, I'm not going to criticize you. I'm not going to look down on you for the platforms that you use, for the weaknesses that you succumb to, because every now and then I succumb to those weaknesses too. But I need to get better at this, and a lot of other people do as well, if we're going to live in a world where we actually own what you bought and paid for. Saying that something doesn't have DRM on the product page, and then almost a week later, after people bring it up to you, still having it on the fucking product page, that it is sold without DRM when it comes to DRM, after you know that you added DRM to all your products, in my opinion, is unacceptable. And I would love to see somebody hold Amazon accountable and responsible from a consumer protection point of view. But if they're not being held accountable for shit that can set your house on fire, I don't see how they're going to be held accountable for an ebook. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. And thank you very much to the community at consumerrights.wiki for making all of this possible, for logging every single one of these cases where a company has revoked rights of ownership and ensured that we can get this across to as many people as possible and push back against it in an organized way. Thank you to everybody who has helped maintain this YouTube channel as the most brand unsafe channel on YouTube, where we bring people together and try to unite around ownership and consumer rights rather than unite around selling people fucking Audible and ExpressVPN. See you in the next video. Bye now. This is a kitty. Hello, little kitty. You're my kitty. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're my kitty. Good girl. Psst, psst. Good girl. That's my kitty.
We also have the duty not to infringe the IP rights in the process. It is in fact the manufacturers who have the relevant rights, not consumers.